hello to the channel. Welcome back, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good weekend, enjoying it. Nearly Christmas as well. This is a bit of a special one for me. Well, for me, obviously, not for everybody else's viewers, but a special one for me. So, I've had a bit of a milestone this weekend. So, I'll talk you through that quickly before we go on to the sort of lineup building, etc. So, hit 1,000 subscribers, which is obviously was a bit of a target when everything all started up. Brilliant. Really pleased with that. 102 videos. Doesn't really seem like that much effort, to be honest. Do enjoy doing the content. Hopefully be able to do some giveaways, give some things back. I want to say a couple of quick thank yous. Won't bore you for too long. First one, Jack P. Sorare. Give a big man a follow, please. He does some really good videos, some really good tips on there. He's really good at Sorare as well, does well, and I know he puts a lot of effort into his videos. What prompted this is he is doing a giveaway just now, and he started highlighting some other content creators, and the giveaway he's given's got me over 1,000, so thanks very much, pal. Much appreciated, honestly. The second one, Royal Livy, really funny guy, even funnier than me. Well, when I've got Guinness in me anyway, but yeah. He's got a YouTube channel as well, some really funny videos, puts a wee bit of effort into editing them, etc. Probably more effort than he puts into his Sorare teams, his so-called bad decisions, etc. But anyway, big man's been helping me with the thumbs, etc. because I'm absolutely technologically useless at stuff like that. So thanks very much to both of you. So anyway, it has been a good week in general. Second thing to point out is we have hit 1,000 card wins on Sorare as well. So that's just a weird coincidence, to be honest, but pretty cool thing and pretty surreal as well. So thanks very much to everyone who watches. You think that people who hit 1,000 subs just become like John Nellis and quit their job and all that sort of stuff. That's not the way it works. Like, it's not making any money or anything, but it's nice to hit some of those milestones and know that people enjoy the videos. So I'm going to stop waffling now. We're going to have a look at what's happening for midweek. Not Trump predicted to win the election or Republicans. I didn't have the spreadsheet loaded up. Too bit busy waffling about personal achievements and stuff. So we're going to have a wee look at midweek. Game week's coming thick and fast at the moment. Which is good and bad. I mean, whilst this loads up, like, I'm finding it a wee bit frustrating with things like injuries and all that type of stuff, and obviously Celtic being completely and utterly shite at the moment as well. So that's one thing we'll discuss relative to midweek. I haven't done the play sharper yet. I need to really have a think about that, to be honest. So let's have a look, see what the sort of team fixtures, etc. are for midweek. So some real interesting ones. I think the first thing you've got to do here is you've also got to have a look at who's got something to play for. The other thing is the groups have sort of changed this year. So, for example, in Europa, if you win your group, you go straight through. If you come second, you've got to play a playoff against Champions League team to get into the last 16, I think. So that's quite interesting because in previous time you think, oh, well, teams kind of top two, there's nothing to play for, but they've changed that a wee bit and I kind of quite like that. Fenerbahce stand out here, so clean sheet percentage 59, expected team goals 2.89, 89% win percentage, but I think they're level on 9 points with one of the other teams in the group, so they really need to win there. Genk, I need to check their situation, not really too sure about that. Lille have a pretty easy game as well. Again, predicting rotations and everything is going to be pretty difficult. Manchester City as well, I think they've qualified. Scraped out a win against Luton today. That could be a wee bit of a turning point for them. 1-0 down and they managed to scrape it out, which is unusual for them. I mean, usually really good, but you'd expect them to be too good even if they do rotate. RB Leipzig against Young Boys. Good win away at Dortmund at the weekend as well for Leipzig. Leverkusen again. Pretty good draw at Stuttgart. I mean, Stuttgart are no mugs. Really been good this season. So I think they'll be pretty pleased with that point, extending the lead on Bayern. But again, they have rotated a lot in Europe as well. Certainly goalkeeper at least rotates in all the games. So that gives you an overview. Some other interesting ones, Leicester at home. So if anyone's got some sort of Leicester cards, that's pretty interesting. Porto and Shakhtar Donetsk is a bit of a sort of face-off, I think, for that group as well. So pretty interesting. And Brighton, I think they need to win to come first. No easy task against Marseille. Pretty good team. So it's pretty high up in the fixtures, but there's not so much on this weekend. Liverpool playing Union Saint-Galoise, who are a pretty good team as well. No doubt about that. And I think Kelleher will probably come back in, I would imagine. You'd have thought so anyway. So in terms of players, I'm going to have a look. This is still set back to my own players, etc. But we'll have a look and see if there's anybody really standing out in terms of the expected scores midweek. Big Erling up the top, injured. Oofed. All the FPL managers, etc. will be, unless we've got a good vice captain, but yeah, they'll be pretty annoyed at that. So Jude Bellingham, no real surprise seeing him up the top of the projected scores these days. Pretty interesting. Aston Villa, interesting ones. I mean, I think Douglas Luiz is suspended for the league game, so you'd imagine he'll probably get a run out in terms of the European game. Again, Aston Villa are really riding high. Really impressive team. Big Unai Emery doing a great job. Wirtz, I'd imagine he'll probably be rotated. He picked up a sort of injury and they played him in the Stuttgart game, but I'd imagine they'll probably give him a bit of a rest there. Bilal Kounos, interesting one of mine's as well actually, but pretty interesting. Xavi Simons, Alvarez, not the cheapest these days, but with Haaland out, pretty nailed to play up front as well, which is quite interesting. Some kind of off the beat guys, Leo Parisi for, I think he's Fiorentina actually. So interesting to see some of the players and everything up there. Anyway, we're here to do a bit of lineup building, so just going to switch this back because the spreadsheets remembering all my settings, which is fair enough, but switch it back just so that get all the information for midweek. So Courtois, obviously injured. Peter Luga is the backup actually for Liverpool. So Kelleher, pretty interesting. I mean, Saint-Galoise are no mugs, whether or not Liverpool can keep a clean sheet. The problem with these games is, Liverpool are like doing a complete sort of rotation and stuff in terms of players. So, the centre backs are all rotating, Virgil van Dijk, etc. So that's interesting. Akanji always seems to be quite high up in a lot of metrics these days. Ricardo Pereira, I think he's 90% start now. I think he missed the weekend, maybe suspended. So he's a pretty good pick. Somebody wants to pick up a limited, etc. Leicester riding high and have loads of games coming up. Ruben Diaz was really poor recently. I don't know what's up with him. He's been pretty poor. John Stones didn't start against Luton, so I imagine he'll probably come back into the fray. Nice to see Sugawara high up in the sort of projected scores as well for under 23 purposes. Again, Man City, I think they'll rotate a bit. Interesting to catch my eye here, Dusan Tadic with 72. So we'll check to play sharper and everything, but I'd imagine with Fenerbahce needing to win, they're not going to mess about too much. So I would have thought and hoped that they don't do that and they just go pretty strong. So anyway, let's pick some lineups. They're playing a bit of rivals as well. Pretty engaging, quite like it to be honest. Quite good to sort of connect and play against other managers, etc. It's just a bit of fun, but sometimes when your SO5 lineup's dead or whatever, or certain big game on or whatever, it's quite interesting just to do that. So we'll stick with the same theme as what we're doing before. Stick to what we know, pick some under 23 teams and see if we can pick a win in Celtic. It's Feyenoord, we're playing Knock-Kilmarnock at the midweek. There we go. Right, so let's shut up now and do this. So under 23. Okay. I think something's changed in here in the I think something's maybe changed in the settings here. Seems to be throwing out all the players now. Yeah, I think it's because it's taking away the last 15 guys of last 15 average score minimum of. Yeah, they probably cancelled a setting that I shouldn't have. Anyway, yeah, just to filter out guys that are mostly playing. So yeah, Trubin, not really that high a projected score away at Salzburg. Interesting one, Benfica been pretty bad at the back. Tenas not going to play, I don't think. He has got an average for the last couple of games because come on for Donnarumma, who is just a complete nutcase these days by the looks of it. Yeah, so this isn't going to be an easy selection. I think I'm probably going to have to go with Kim Jin-hoon. Playing against True Bangkok United. I've absolutely no idea how good or shite True Bangkok United are. I know where Bangkok is, obviously, but I've not been in it or anything. But so yeah, I mean, first thing to stand out here is doesn't look like it that easy a midweek in terms of under 23 goalkeeper selections. So Benfica have been a bit leaky, so I think it's got to be Kim Jin-hoon. I just don't really see any other selection there. Sugawara, interesting one. Away at Legia is not going to be easy, right? The other thing as well is Matty Ryan's injured, so they're going to be bringing in Hobby Verhulst or maybe Owusu Ojuro. So that's maybe a small consideration in the clean sheet side of things. If I knew Frimpong was going to play, then I'd be pretty inclined to play him. You see, Sugawara on the sheet was actually projected score of 60. Now, this is partly because he's on all set pieces, etc. as well, so got to take things like that into account. If I did have any other strong defenders, I could play them and also play Matt O'Reilly as well, but yeah. Matt O'Reilly, I don't know, I mean, he's been excellent, but I think it really Genk's fixture looks a wee bit better. I think the thing with Matt O'Reilly is Celtic just can't really afford to leave him out at any point, I don't think. So there we go. I think there might be, I wonder if some data missing here. It doesn't look as if there's any Celtic players in here yet, so that might be the case as well. But Bilal Knus, pretty good selection. Again, I'll be checking the play sharper and everything, not just plugging the platform because I'm on it myself. I just find it really, really helpful, to be honest, in addition to all the other tools as well. Forward wise, anybody sticking out here? Kingsted, interesting one. Been getting a game. Rodrigo's been pretty solid in terms of playing, just with so many injuries for Real Madrid. I don't know again if they're going to sort of rotate a wee bit. Paxiao against the Celtic defence. Maybe I should be picking him. I'll shut up now. So it's not an easy selection. Even Musiala, I think he'll probably play, but Man United are pretty awful as well. But Bayern get hammered at the weekend as well. So I've got to go with Rodrigo. Again, I'll be sort of considering these selections and everything and see what script is. Szoboszlai again, so he'll probably get rotated. I don't really think that Celtic can afford to leave out Matt O'Reilly. I think the only real comment there is there's not anything to actually play for. So that's where it's getting difficult. I'm just going to go with the rare actually. Celtic are at home, played pretty well at home games, played well against Lazio, got robbed at the end, played well against Atletico Madrid. I think Rodgers will be looking for a reaction. So on balance, I think that we'll probably go pretty strong. Rodrigo's been on fire. I'm inclined to captain Matt O'Reilly, but there we go. So let's pick the limited under 23s, then we'll do a wee challenger selection, and then we'll see if we can look at something sort of cap wise, etc., just to make it mix it up a wee bit. So I do have Kim Jin-hyun in terms of limited as well. So I think we're pretty much going to stick with that. I mean, you can cover the other bases and just hope Truman has a good. What I would say is if Benfica concede less than 3 goals, I'm pretty sure he'll do a good AA. So that's quite interesting. I just think Salzburg away or or Bangkok at home. That's a tough one, isn't it? What's the easier fixture? Kim Jin-yoon can put in some good A as well. Doesn't look as if I've got huge amounts of selection in terms of defensive wise. Schlotterbeck's an interesting one. Dortmund need a result. Obviously playing against the talent of Mbappe, etc. So again, it's probably going to be pretty boring. Just go with Sugawara. Midfield wise, so Saka, interesting. So let's see. Just going to do a wee check on my phone here. I know I should do it on the screen, but it's been a long weekend. Just want to see if Arsenal have got much to play for here, actually. Champions League Group B. So yeah, Arsenal have qualified and have won the group, so that's a bit of a rotation risk, so probably going to have to avoid that. Napoli, that's an interesting one. Do Napoli need a result? Don't think they do, actually. I wonder if Braga beat them if they go out. So this is where you really need to refine your lineups this week. It's quite a tricky week to pick. Probably just going to go with Matt O'Reilly again. I might change that to Kvaradona. That's an interesting one. Club Brugge again. Do they need a result? Could just pause it at this point, but can't be arsed, in all honesty. Club Brugge. So it looks like they've won the group, actually. I don't know if Bodo beat them. They'll get through. I think it's Skov Olsen's a shout, actually. Never started at the weekend, so I imagine he's going to play. Bodo Glimt are quite interesting. They're a really, really good team at home, and they're a good team. They punch above their weight in Europe as well. But that said, I think that they are a wee bit leaky sometimes as well. And then Rodrigo. So we're going to go with Skov Olsen. I'll double check that near to Tuesday, see what the play sharper prediction is as well. Let's pick a Celtic. He's a laugh. Let's pick a Celtic lineup. Fucking hell, man. We'll be in cap 220 at this rate. Right. So, what's the thoughts on Celtic? Don't know if you really want me to go there. Actually, I don't think he'll rotate the goalkeeper. I just think that Rodgers always talks about continuity in defence. It's a dead rubber. He could give Bain again. I wouldn't rule it out, in all honesty. But yeah, I mean, I think he'll be looking to get back to some defensive solidity. Using Carter Vickers, his MRI scan, it was all clear. I think he's been left out as a precaution. So I said Feyenoord, are they going to go strong again? They don't have anything to play for as well. But if you don't play Gimenez, it's going to play Ueda, and it's not as if he's not dangerous or anything. Novrocky isn't in the Champions League squad, so I think I would have to go with Scales. Obvious one there is that Vickers might still be rested again for Hearts. I don't know. He could be back. It's just if it was a competitive game, I'd be more confident. Matt O'Reilly, I mean, again, I do think Rodgers will be keen to still get a reaction to the result of the weekend, and also just to get these guys more experience in Europe as well. Sounds a bit defeatist, but at the end of the day, Celtic hoping to do better in Champions League next season, and in these games you do have a chance of like getting prize money as well. I think it's like 1.52 million or something. I'm going to go with Furuhashi actually. I don't think there's, Feyenoord are a pretty good team. I'm not really that confident of clean sheet, so certainly they'll do some of this. Matt O'Reilly was the man of the match against Atletico Madrid, so, what can you say about that? It's really, I'm not sure the crowd are going to be up for anything. There's a bit of discontent, obviously, in terms of the result of the weekend. There's this thing with the Green Brigade, which, if follows Celtic or whatever, that's the kind of ultras group. It's not really been working too well from that perspective. Anyway, let's do something a wee bit different, see if we can try and pick something for the Cap 220 Limited. So, from that point of view, what I'm going to do is we'll try and see if we can use a spreadsheet. Again, if anyone's looking at this, I think it was this spreadsheet we've got here. Well, it's from Sorare Probabilities, S_probabilities on Twitter. It gives you a free trial of it. After that, you've got to pay for it, but really pretty excellent resource. So what we're going to do is filter scarcity to limited, and then last 15 average score max. So I change the last 15 average score minimum to 0, then change the max to 45-ish, and see who we can try and pull out that might be a good potential sort of scorer. So goalkeeper, that's always going to be pretty interesting. Kelleher's projected score, pretty good actually. Last 15's 43, so that's interesting. I don't think there's anybody else standing out. I'm not going to be going and buying somebody particularly for this. So Ederson's last 15's pretty low now as well, so that's pretty interesting, although you could see Pep playing Ortega Moreno, so I think Kelleher's a pretty good shout here. Yeah, play the highest one there as well. Defender wise, as I said before, I think John Stone's pretty good shout to play. Mauro Junior's an interesting one. Last 15 average of 24. Could be back for PSV again. He played from the bench at the weekend. That's a kind of interesting one, just from a point of view of Arsenal don't have as much to play for, so maybe they'll rotate a wee bit. So that's pretty interesting. Navrocki isn't in the Champions League squad, so he won't come in for anybody. Pervis says the Pinnin thinks injured. Wet Sauce 101, Dodo's out for a while. Sergio Ramos I find interesting as well. Put up a pretty good score at the weekend, although project score 42, so kind of relatively hard away game. Kamil Piatkowski. Benfica have not been up to much recently, so that's kind of interesting. Celtic projected scores are pretty low actually, so there they are, they're there, but they're pretty low, so that's kind of interesting. So actually forgotten who was top of that. John Stones. Oh, so yeah, that's kind of interesting. Although if we're going to go John Stones, they'll go the goalkeeper as well. I don't know. Still get an average of 44 to use, so let's just follow the process and make it interesting. Batoma, pretty interesting one. 43 last 15, never played today, so that could be a good shout for midweek and a good shout obviously for the EPL competition. Maybe pick up a Matoma. Marcelino Nunez, he's capable of some PK scores. Partey I think still injured. Orkin Kokchu should play. Not the easiest of games away, obviously at Salzburg, but there we go. Mitoma. Mitoma. Again, Marseille are no mugs, but yeah, I mean, I don't mind that shout. I think Galois are good, but Liverpool obviously are top of the EPL, so you've got to remember that kind of discrepancy in terms of the actual overall quality. Even if Liverpool rotate some guys, they've always scored a lot of goals in these group, or scored goals in these group games. So Fernando back, that's quite interesting. Fernando back for Salzburg. Played from the bench at the weekend. Will Nabil Fekir get a game? Rotated a wee bit. Sesko, pretty interesting one. Last 15 of 41. Would he maybe get some game time? Luis Diaz has actually been playing in the league, so I wonder if that, so maybe Gakpo or what's your man's name? Darwin Núñez I'm not going to do a song. So yeah, so I mean, this is, unless you've got a really low goalkeeper, this is a tough competition to get. It's quite a tough competition in terms of like fitting in the averages. So fancy for Liverpool that Curtis Jones and or Harvey Elliott probably get a game. Is Elliott fit? No, he's average too high. I put in Curtis Jones actually. And then who we're going to pick? Matoma's quite explosive. Just been eased back after injury, so that's kind of interesting, I think. So there we go. So we've done 25 minutes. I think I'm probably going to leave it at that. We went through some of the fixtures, etc. I think the overwhelming thing there is it's going to be quite a tricky midweek. You know, I wouldn't really be banking on anything. I would be looking for, try and focus on teams that have still got something to actually play for. If not, maybe aim at the caps. Some of those guys that might come in on the rotation as well. What's happening here? I've got a notification. Been out better than Petri. I actually bought one of these, one of these cards. We Take Kubo. When I buy these cards, these celebration cards, firstly I like them. Secondly, I like to buy a guy that's a bit younger as well. You know, if you're going to pay an extra 10, 15 quid for it or whatever, at least buy a guy you're going to be keeping for a while, right? It's no point buying a guy you want to keep for 1 or 2 months. Although they do have good resale, but I really like this card, and also Kubo gives me another forward option in limited. So there we go. Did try and Pedri and have been outbid, although that's understandable. Pretty nice card there as well. What else happening in the club? I've been playing Rivals. Records not that good, to be honest. I've been playing loads of games, some of which I've been absolutely awful at, to be honest. There we go. What's been happening with the actual club? Well, you'll see there's no Ederson in here. Passed them on. I just decided I've already got one, so I decided it was good chance to sell them on, and everything else. Everyone's been aware. I've picked up a Kieran Trippier as well. He's been absolutely gash. Actually, pretty funny that he had an early lead to go about 1 minute after the auction finished. So there we go. But let's have a look at Rivals actually, or some of my lineups and Rivals, see what's going on. Actually, believe it or not, pretty good record in the Celtic game. So that's obviously down to the fact that I picked the guy who had the best score in the game, I think. 162 at 63. I suppose that's to be expected, having super rares and uniques and all that type of stuff. Crap in the MLS final. But I did think Rossi and Boanga would do well, but just didn't really pick anybody to go with them. So got some of the decisives, but still only won 3 out of 16. Pretty poor performance. Club Brugge game. 125 out of 27. The Man City game was interesting with Bernardo Silva, etc. in there. Done okay in the Leverkusen game. Sturm Graz played 113 out of 14 in the Spurs game. It's pretty interesting. So I did think Horror would do pretty well in sets. Had Son as well, and even though Spurs conceded, still pretty good. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. Just want to say thanks again everyone for liking, subscribing, watching the content. Much appreciated. Thanks again to Jack P for the recommendation. I'm going to be doing a giveaway for Boxing Day, so I'll line up a separate video for that, etc. Going to make an attempt at doing sort of live gallery reviews with Sorare info tomorrow night. That actually relies on me being able to press the right buttons. So there's get a wee preview out of that at some point, and we'll see if we can get it set up for tomorrow night. And thanks again to Roy Levy for helping with the thumbs. So anyway, I'm going to go now. If you're playing midweek, good luck and go fuck. Thanks again for all your support.